Tonight on the news, positive reactions trail President Tinubu's engagement in
Let
Brazil.
Brazil continue to widen the opportunity for us to embrace Africa.
A successful rescue operation follows Kaduna-bound derailed train at Asham.
Together, we coordinated the evacuation. 7 people were injured, and the 7 of them were treated there by doctors.
Plus, more rescued kidnapped victims reunite with families. Kawarana Moda kidnapping, breath of freedom for victims. Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Adiola Komi Akere and Bade Adeleo will keep us up to speed in the world of sports. Bade, give us a tip of the iceberg.
Signed for French club Paris Saint-Germain.
All right, many thanks, Bade. Remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now let's start from the transport sector, where a Kaduna-bound train derailed earlier today between Kubwa and Asham stations. A statement by the Railway Corporation Nigeria confirms that all passengers aboard have been successfully rescued. Tessie Omeri was on ground with the team after the rescue operations.
This is the arrival of the remaining passengers of the train that derailed around Asham station this morning, and from the data we have gotten, thank God no life was lost. 6 persons sustained different degrees of injuries, and of course stakeholders are on ground to make sure that they collect data of every passenger in the train, and of course to make sure that everyone is properly taken care of. For now, we will get stakeholders to comment and to give us more information as to what caused the incident.
The train derailed some few minutes after 11 in the morning, and the MD immediately got in touch with the ministry. The Honorable Minister directed that I should go to the site and assess the situation, evaluate, and see how I could move the victims out of the place. We got there, and there was serious interagency collaboration. The Army were there providing security. The DSS were providing area coverage with helicopter. DG NEMA was on ground personally, and together we coordinated the evacuation. 7 people were injured, and the 7 of them were treated there by doctors, and some were moved from there to the National Hospital with ambulance. Ambulances were made available immediately. But they were stabilized before moving them from site, and as I talked to you, none is on admission. So we thank God for His mercy. It was a very mild one.
Now, the remaining passengers are being conveyed to their various destinations by the authorities of the NRC. And with the rescue operations concluded, the focus now is on ascertaining the true cause of the train derailing this morning in order to restore the confidence of the NRC. From the Idu train station in Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Many thanks, Tessie. And meanwhile, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has suspended train services along Abuja-Kaduna route. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau has launched a comprehensive investigation into the derailment of a Kaduna-bound train service that occurred today, August 26, 2025, at approximately 11:09 a.m. between Kubwa Station and Asham Station. Director Public Affairs and Family Assistance Bimbo Laomi Oladeji confirms that 6 persons sustained injuries and no fatalities reported. She said the Bureau will conduct a thorough inquiry to determine the cause of the incident and provide recommendations to prevent future occurrences with updates as provided by the investigation. Joining me via Zoom to give us some more updates is the Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Captain Alex Bade Jr. Glad to have you join us on the Network News.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, what's your immediate assessment of the accidents after seeing footages from the scene?
But before we do that, I'd like to sympathize with the victims of this accident. As you heard, there were now confirmed 7 injuries and fortunately no fatalities. But our hearts still go out to the injured. And the NSIB's Family Assistance Program stands ready to support the NRC and the victims of this accident. Of course, I know everybody wants to know what happened. We can't speculate at this time. I mean, this is just the early days. Our investigators got there at about 3 p.m. or so. So they're still getting preliminary information on the incident, and we're going to investigate within 7 days per our regulations. We should have launched the investigation, which we've done today. So we'll have something here in the next 30 days, at least a prelim as to what happened. So again, we can't speculate at this time. All options are on the table, and we'll find out, and the Nigerian public will know, hopefully in the next 30 days, at least a preliminary assessment of what happened.
While conducting the preliminary investigation, what areas are you prioritizing to, ensure that the actual cause has been discovered?
Well, I mean, first of all, we need to protect the evidence and that site. As you know, our rail tracks are very porous. They're prone to sabotage, and just, we just want to make sure that the scene is secure for us. And once we do that, then we'll look into everything. I can't tell you, again, we can't prioritize anything, be it train driver training or maintenance. We can't, because we just don't know what happened here at this time. I'm sure if you've seen videos and pictures, the track was severely bent in certain sections. I don't know. We can't know if that's from the accident or whatever. So all options are on the table at this time. It's early days, it's day 1. So again, in 30 days, we'll be able to give you more, or sooner. But we can't speculate, because you just don't know anything right now until we interview the train driver and passengers on the train. So of course, we're open to the public as well. If they have any information, they should please reach out to the NSIB on our website.
All right, just before I let you go, what is expected to be done immediately to allay the fears of train travelers in the country?
To be done, again, fortunately, unfortunately, we don't have a huge or robust rail network. But again, the Abuja Kaduna rail line is effectively shut for now while this is happening. We'll be talking to the NRC. I spoke with the MD earlier today. We'll be meeting tomorrow, and we'll discuss with them as the regulators. We can only assure them that the NSIB will be dug in our role to ascertain the cause of this, and we'll inform the Nigerian public as to what happened, just to prevent any reoccurrence.
All right, many thanks, the Director General of the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, Captain Alex Bade Jr., for your input on the network news.
All right, thank you for having me.
And the federal government has issued a fresh flood alert to 9 states in northern Nigeria, warning residents of the likely heavy downpour and possible flooding between August 25th and 29th, 2025. The National Flood Early Warning Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment, in a circular signed by the Director of Operation Flood and Coastal Zone Management, Usman Abdullahi Bukani, raised the alarm in Abuja. Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara and Borno State have been placed on red alert due to vulnerability to flooding, with communities within these states advised to take precautionary measures to avert flood disasters. And away from flood disasters, the Nigeria Police Force records major breakthroughs in recent anti-crime operations, rescuing 5 kidnapped victims in Kebbi State and killing 5 suspected kidnappers in Abia State. A statement by the force indicates that the operations also resulted in the recovery of arms, ammunition and other dangerous weapons. In Kebbi State, security operatives rescued 3 kidnapped victims after a gun battle with armed kidnappers in Shanga Hills. Also in Dakwo Wasagu local government area, 2 victims abducted earlier in Zamfara are freed unhurt, while in Abia State, operatives stormed a kidnapper's den in Uko West local government area and engaged the gang in a fierce exchange of gunfire. The superior firepower of the police proves decisive as 5 gang members were killed while a large cache of arms and ammunition was recovered. Still talking security, the National Security Advisor, Nouri Badu, has handed over 128 rescued kidnapped victims, including children, to their families. While handing over the victims, the NSA urged Nigerians not to politicize security issues, support ongoing drive to further secure the nation. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
It's a fresh breath of freedom for these kidnapped victims who were rescued at different times this month following joint intelligence and security operations. 128 victims, including children, all from Kauranamoda local government area of Zamfara state. They were held captives in deplorable condition by armed groups.
42 individuals, 14 males, 27 females, and a toddler. The second batch were rescued on the 19th of August, comprising 34 males and 4 females. Among the rescued second batch, lost one of the children due to illness. One of the women that was rescued had a premature birth. The child is presently in an incubator in the medical facility.
Abdullahi Salisu says he was held for 42 days before the rescue operation. The National Security Advisor enjoined Nigerians to support the ongoing efforts to further secure the nation.
These victims were brought to the Office of the National Security Advisor, not only to secure their safety, but also to facilitate their healing process. Let us take politics out of this tragedy. The pain of victims should never be turned into a tool for partisan gain.
So far, the National Security Advisor has publicly handed over more than 283 kidnapped victims to their respective state governments. The rescue of these 128 kidnapped victims, coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor, is the second this year. 60 kidnapped victims were earlier rescued in April this year. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu is to officially unveil Nigeria's revised national counterterrorism strategy in October, following an extensive review process designed to align the nation's security framework with emerging threats. National Coordinator, National Counterterrorism Center, Major General Dam Garbalaka, announced this at the third quarter stakeholders meeting of NACTEST in Abuja.
This launch will mark the culmination of our collective efforts and the beginning of a new phase in our national counterterrorism expedition.
The major objective of this meeting is to intimate stakeholders with the recent review process and also enable focal point officers to ratify their respective roles and responsibilities in support of the NACTEST, especially for the implementation phase. The Center also acknowledges that terrorism is a global phenomenon that requires international cooperation and support.
The revised strategy was reached through consultations and validation by relevant agencies and local and international partners. You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. And we're not done with the Kaduna-bound derailed train as the Director General of Nigeria Railway Corporation reacts. Let's take a listen.
See, for now, is all things being equal, I think we have 618 total people on board, and they have all been rescued to safe place. Many have come back to their houses, and we have ordered the ticketing company, e-ticketing company, to transfer back their payment on the addresses quoted when they made the booking. The rescue team, the recovery team to pop up, and after that, the investigation, under investigation, the train will be conducted, then the track will be restored.
The managing director there reacting to the derailed train that happened earlier this morning. And Nigeria and Brazil have taken a major decision to reinforce their bilateral cooperation with agreements signed in 5 major areas of collaboration. President Bola Tinubu and his Brazilian counterpart, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, both expressed readiness to grow the relationship for the prosperity of both countries. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports.
The Brazilian government deployed full military honors for the arrival of the Nigerian leader at the Palácio do Planalto, the Brazilian presidential office. Every step of President Bola Tinubu was aiming higher at a more strategic relations between two countries of similar features, hoping for a greater future together. Yet another meeting of two friends in the series. Fourth meeting between the two leaders since President Tinubu assumed office. An intercontinental handshake with sense of urgency about to fine-tune decisive bilateral agreements as the largest countries in Africa and South America put action to their commitment to rejuvenate the trade relations which hitherto was on a downward trend between them. A private meeting and then a bilateral one between the two teams culminated in signing of agreements on 5 areas. These include aviation, capacity building of diplomats, political consultation on bilaterals of common interest, cooperation on science, technology and innovation, as well as cooperation between banks of agriculture of both countries to promote trade and investment.
We've elevated this promise to the path of reality, as you've seen in the various MOU already signed. Today, we're fighting and working hard to bring our sovereignty to the level of expectation that we as a nation, an African nation, the most populous country, the most dynamic country, Nigeria, to share with Brazil what we need to share among each other. Technology transfer, economic renaissance that will be beneficial to the two countries. Let Brazil continue to widen the opportunity for us to embrace Africa. Africa is the new frontier.
Focusing on technology and knowledge transfer in manufacturing, both leaders believe their countries will henceforth harness their resources to grow their economies and peoples.
If we can mitigate all problems and eliminate, the peg and make the business transparent and support our aviation industry, it will blossom. And aviation will propel additional opportunity for business to grow, culture to succeed, and everyone to benefit.
Brazil has an obligation to help the African continent achieve the same development we have achieved here. We've thought about this for a long time. It didn't work out, but now, President, you can be sure that your visit to Brazil today definitely signifies Brazil's return to the African continent, not as a country seeking a hegemonic relationship with anyone, but as a country seeking a relationship of solidarity, fraternal, and equality, focused on the growth of the African people and the growth of the African-Brazilian people.
With the commitment serially demonstrated by both leaders and agreement signed in key areas, they expressed belief that the partnership will go to an enviable level amongst the Committee of Nations. In Brasilia, Musbah Danwahab, NC News.
Meanwhile, key stakeholders have been commending President Bola Tinubu's engagements in Brazil, which have led to signing of bilateral agreements with the host government. Series of talks between leaders of both countries in the last 1 year have resulted in agreements to enhance cooperation in 5 major areas. Speaker, Nigeria's House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, who is part of the Nigerian delegation in Brazil, lauded the president's efforts at improving Nigeria's diplomatic ties with countries of the world.
He is doing extremely well in selling Nigeria to the international world, and he cannot get it wrong, because all the fundamentals that every country needs to actually put in place to attract foreign investments, Nigeria within the last 2 years have been able to attend. So we are a virgin country now, ready to accept investment from all over the world, and Mr. President is doing so well in actually showcasing what Nigeria can offer to the international world and what Nigeria also requires from other countries to support our economy. Mr. President is doing very well. I want to use this opportunity to urge him to continue.
Other members of the team also commended one of the immediate gains of the agreement, which is the resumption of direct flight between the two countries, with a Nigerian private airline benefiting.
I'm happy from what we discussed during bilateral meetings. We're looking at over $30 billion investment in the area of agriculture and food security. And of course, something that for me I feel is really, really important is the fact that for the first time, I've seen a country that are willing and ready to open their own opportunities for Nigeria.
The partnership we have now is open skies, direct flight. We all flew here. We had 3 stops, a cumulative 19 to 21 hours. We all know that going back will take us 2.5 to 3 days. Now, that has changed. That's the power of an MOU. There's an understanding, a partnership where there are responsibilities on both sides. There are also benefits. That will improve trade, tourism. Investors will be willing to get on the plane from Lagos to come here. They can go back in another day. That's important.
We cannot start daily flights for now, but we want to start with 3 weekly flights. That's 3 flights a week for the time being. But as we go on, we develop the routes and we can increase the frequency.
Nigeria and Brazil have deepened their economic and cultural ties through a series of agreements and memorandum of understanding signed during President Bola Tinubu's 2-day state visit to Brazil. The visit resulted in the signing of a bilateral air services agreement enabling direct flights between Lagos and Sao Paulo. This agreement is expected to boost trade, tourism, investment, and people-to-people exchanges between the two nations. Additionally, the $1.1 billion Green Imperative Mechanization project will deliver tractors and farming equipment assembled in Nigeria, creating jobs and enhancing food security. The Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy played a vital role in the visit, reaffirming the importance of culture and creativity in Nigeria's foreign relations. Minister Hannatu Musa Musawa emphasized that the visit demonstrated President Tinubu's visionary leadership and commitment to elevating Nigeria's global influence through cultural diplomacy. And economic experts have lauded the new era of cooperation between Nigeria and Brazil, leading to the signing of 5 landmark agreements. Benny Adams reports that the focus of this historic pact is on boosting Nigeria's key sectors, from food production to cutting-edge technology.
Putting pen on paper gives life to months of cross-border engagement. It is about providing critical funding and modern techniques to Nigerian farmers, directly tackling the challenges of food security and increasing local productivity.
No president of Nigeria has been able to do this in the past 50 years. And what it brings to Nigeria is unbelievable.
Moving from the field to the lab, the pact also signals a strong commitment to a knowledge economy. An MOU on science, technology and innovation is expected to open up vital channels for knowledge transfer between Nigerian and Brazilian researchers. This collaboration promises to spark breakthroughs, creating new opportunities and fostering a generation of innovators.
This investment of $2.5 billion is going to open a new vista in the livestock industry, especially in the component of feedlot and fattening of animals, which our farmers are going to benefit. And the advantage of this investment is that already these JBS are a world market player.
Also in the skies, a new path is being charted. This bilateral air service agreement will establish a direct flight route connecting Nigeria and Brazil. This direct link is set to become a vibrant new trade corridor, making it easier than ever for Nigerian goods and exporters to access one of Latin America's largest markets.
The southeast of Nigeria gains most from what has just happened. There's huge trade that's been going on. You have a lot of Brazilian cars coming into Nigeria. Most of the spare parts of machines, be they generator, be they cars, be they trucks, and the rest of them, most of the quality ones that are affordable have been coming from Brazil to Nigeria.
With an MOU on diplomatic training, Nigeria's foreign service will benefit from shared expertise, enhancing its professionalism on the world stage. Now, from agribusiness to global diplomacy, stakeholders believe these paths lay a solid foundation for a more prosperous future. The focus is now on translating these commitments into tangible progress for the Nigerian people. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved a 6-month temporary ban on the export of raw shea nuts to curb informal trade and boost local processing. Vice President Kashim Shettima announced the president's directive during a multi-stakeholder meeting at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This stakeholders meeting is about industrialization, rural transformation, gender empowerment, and expanding Nigeria's global trade footprint. The ban, which is with immediate effect, is subject to review and expiration and specifically aimed at boosting Nigeria's share value chain to generate an estimated $300 million annually in the short term. And Vice President Kashim Shettima said the decision was not an anti-trade policy, but a pro-value addition policy designed to secure raw materials for processing factories and enabling industries run at full capacity.
That will transform Nigeria from an exporter of raw shea nuts to a global supplier of refined shea butter, oil, and other derivatives. So this is a welcome development, and I want to highlight the gender dimension of the whole value chain because women are responsible for 90% of the pickers. By protecting the shea industry, we are protecting livelihoods, dignity, and opportunity for millions of our women. So luckily, this is a collective decision involving the subnationals and the government at the center. And the government is not closing doors, no. We are opening opportunities.
Ghana, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Togo have already imposed restrictions to protect their industries.
So what has happened now is there is an influx of illicit traders coming in to buy from Nigeria because our market is still open. So with this, what this seeks to do is that it will also encourage the private sector to develop the processing, the value addition of that commodity that has a potential to reach almost from the 6.5 about $9 billion in the next 5 years to 2030.
The Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit Rapid Assessment, which engaged over 2,000 pickers and 65 processors, confirmed the urgent need for the action as the informal exports estimated at 90,000 metric tons annually, draining domestic supply. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, is confident of transforming and leading the agencies under his watch, including the Voice of Nigeria, as a pro-Nigerian pan-African station dedicated to telling the positive stories coming out of Nigeria and the African continent. The minister reaffirmed this in a message at the flagger for the restoration of Voice of Nigeria's shortwave transmission using the 250 kilowatt superpower transmitter. Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Sometime now, Voice of Nigeria, the authoritative voice, has lost its voice on terrestrial transmission using the shortwave. Years of silence and wait is about to be broken.
There are over 60% of the listeners on radio are on transmitter radio, using transistor radio. Voice of Nigeria want to take the lead. Many of our listeners around Africa are talking to us, please, when will you bring back our transistor? So we are promising them today, but that the grace of God, what is happening here is to give them a space, give them a voice.
Effort to restore the rotating antenna is in line with the new vision to transform the landscape of public broadcasting and make Voice of Nigeria a brand in global radio broadcasting.
The Voice of Nigeria technical team must demonstrate a high level of diligence and competence in supervising the execution of this project, as well as in ensuring its sustainability through an effective maintenance culture.
Positive attention given the public media institution under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is unquantifiable. Every process was followed and the best was taken among those who should do the job.
It's a huge setup that will definitely make every Nigerian proud to have it on air, and will be able to reach out to foreigners, other countries, and Nigerian diaspora, everybody.
Ongoing upgrade of broadcast equipment across agencies under the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation is in line with the administration's vision of modernizing public broadcast infrastructure. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
On talking health, the federal government has announced a 46% decline in variant polio virus cases compared to the same period last year, with a renewed target to achieving 0 cases by December 2025. This was revealed by the Executive Director and CEO of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Mui Aino, during the quarterly review meeting of the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Healthcare Delivery held in Abuja. Shea reports.
The fight against vaccine-preventable diseases in Nigeria goes beyond the viruses themselves. It is also a fight against myths and misinformation. While progress has been made in boosting immunization coverage and other health indicators, traditional leaders from across the North are meeting once again, united in their commitment to reshape the future of healthcare delivery in Nigeria, particularly their region.
As we all know, health is wealth. We know the importance of nutrition and feeding. We would like to call on governments to see how they can also use this forum, this particular group, to reach out to everybody, to see how we can reach out to our people.
Nigeria has remained completely free of wild polio virus for more than 8 years now. Unfortunately, over the years, there was a variant type that emerged and started to circulate and took hold over a number of years. The government, in partnership with the communities led by the traditional leaders, has now responded quite aggressively to that, and we are making progress. We have a 46% reduction.
Leaders expressed optimism that their voices can serve as trusted bridges, building stronger community confidence and ultimately improving health outcomes across the nation. In Abuja, Shea, NTA News.
A time to join Adiola in Lagos for stories making the rounds from that zone. Good evening, Adiola. Over to you.
Lajide.
Nigeria's drive towards technological advancement and youth empowerment in the automotive sector has received a major boost in Lagos. The commissioning of a modern automotive training center by the National Automotive Design and Development Council in Ikorodu is expected to provide hands-on skills that will strengthen the nation's auto industry. Awal Yusuf Jibo reports.
Standing here at the newly commissioned Automotive Training Center in Ikorodu, the message is clear. Beyond the ribbon curtain, this facility is about building skills, creating jobs and shaping the future of Nigeria's auto industry. The facility, located within the Lagos State University of Science and Technology in Ikorodu, is equipped with state-of-the-art workshops and diagnostic equipment that will serve as a hub for training technicians, artisans and young Nigerians aspiring to build careers in automobile engineering. Odunsi Michael Oluwaseun, a mechanical engineer who just concluded a course on CNG conversion at the training center, says the training acquired will enable him put food on the table for his family.
Because converting petrol to gas is very easy thing. So they trained us for us to be able to stand on our own.
A tour of the facility, the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Eno, said the birth of centers like this across the country will revolutionize Nigeria's automotive industry.
We should have more and more cars assembled in our country. We also have to have the required skills that are ready for, that kind of situation.
We have about 21 of them, and we are building more. It's going to cover the whole 36 states of the Federation, and we have equipped some. This is the third one we are commissioning, and we continue to commission. We intend to commission as many as 10 before the end of this year.
It will then help us to grow, be able to train our academic staff, train technologists, and also be part of amplifying the master training program.
Stakeholders noted that the center will not only tackle unemployment, but also support innovation in areas such as vehicle maintenance, assembly, and emerging grain technologies. In Lagos, Awal Yusuf Jibo, NTA News.
The management of NTA Lagos Network Center has paid a courtesy visit on the Nigerian Army 81 Division with a view to strengthening ties. Zonal Director of NTA Lagos Network Center, Evelyn Nwosu, says the relationship would help foster regional peace and security. Adejoke Odeka reports.
With relationship building at the forefront, the Nigerian Television Authority Lagos Network Center Zonal Director Evelyn Nwosu kicked off her engagements with a courtesy visit to the 81 Division of the Nigerian Army, recognizing the invaluable role the Nigerian Army plays in maintaining peace and security in the region.
We want to have a relationship where anything you do, we will be able to say. And then we want to have a security program that we have to talk about security, because if we don't talk about security, I don't know who should. We are still the government arm of broadcasting. So we want a relationship that is interactive, a relationship that is rewarding, and a relationship that will help both sides.
The GOC of 81 Division, Major General Farouk Mijinyawa, who received the NTA Lagos Network Center management team, promised to ensure synergy and spoke highly of its commendable news coverage.
We'll continue to collaborate with NTA for us to promote national security, especially as it affects our area of responsibility.
At the end of the visit, a souvenir was presented to the Zonal Director NTA LNC by the GOC 81 Division. He also reaffirmed his commitment to more collaborative effort with the Nigerian Television Authority. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. It's time for us to take another break, and when we return, Olajide is standing by to continue with the news.
Thanks for being there. As part of ongoing efforts to strengthen healthcare service delivery to the growing population of Jigawa State, the Deputy Governor and Chairman Committee on Primary Healthcare, Aminu Usman, led a team of key government officials on an inspection tour of primary healthcare facilities in Jahun local government area. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Records at the health centers show that the Abuja PSC attends to over 800 patients monthly, while both Gunka and Kale PSCs each record about 500 patients monthly. On birth registration, figures show that Abuja PSC registers more than 400 births monthly, while Gunka records between 85 and 92, and Kale about 80 births monthly. Deputy Governor Aminu Usman expressed satisfaction with the performance of the facilities, noting that the state government has made huge investments in the PSC subsector. He said the visit was aimed at assessing the impacts of those investments and ensuring that the services reach the people effectively.
We are still trying to see where we have a problem so that we can improve. And wherever there is a problem, for sure, we are ready to take care of whatever problem comes.
Jigawa State stakeholder said has already achieved the Abuja Declaration target of establishing at least one PSC in each of the 287 political wards of the state. This has guaranteed wider access to healthcare services. In addition, the state has last year enrolled 45,000 vulnerable people for free medical services, alongside free medical care for pregnant women, children under 5, and accident victims, as preparation for another 45,000 set of vulnerable people for free medical care is on top gear. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And away from grassroots health, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Senator Atiku Ekpenyong, representing Cross River South Senatorial District, on his 40th birthday. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says Senator Ekpenyong is one of the youngest lawmakers in the 10th National Assembly. The President commends him for his dedication and prays for Senator Ekpenyong's continued strength and good health while serving Cross River State and Nigeria. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu congratulates Dr. Abubakar Soho, Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, on his election as the Vice President Africa of the International Association of Ports and Harbors, IAPH. Dr. Ansoho joins the management team of the IAPH for a 2-year term, and the President thanks the organization for entrusting him with the position, just as they did in 2017 when Hadiza Bala Usman, one of Ansoho's predecessors, was similarly elected. The President encourages Ansoho to continue his efforts to reposition the NPA, thereby contributing to Nigeria's goal of expanding its economy to $1 trillion by 2030. Another break beckons. The news continues in a moment.
Still the network news at 9 on the NTA. Now let's turn our attention to sports. Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade has joined Paris Saint-Germain on a free transfer, making her the 6th Nigerian to play for the French club. The 25-year-old forward signed a contract with PSG until June 2027. Ajibade's move to Paris comes only weeks after leaving Atletico Madrid, where she spent 4 years and a half. And of course, she won both the Copa del Reina and the Supercopa España. She will now link up with fellow Nigeria international Jennifer Echegini, who also joined PSG earlier this year. Now let's turn our attention to badminton, as all is now set for the Lagos International Badminton Classic 2025, which will take place from August the 27th to 30th at the Teslim Balogun Indoor Sports Hall, Surulere, Lagos. The Classic, sanctioned by the Badminton World Federation, has grown into one of Africa's premier badminton competitions, offering athletes from across the globe a vital opportunity to earn ranking points toward World Championships and Olympic Games qualification. Players from 31 countries across Africa, Europe, Asia, and the Americas are confirmed to participate. Among the participating nations are India, Japan, Indonesia, Korea, Malaysia, France, USA, Canada, Nigeria, and Egypt. Now, the city of Asaba is buzzing with activities as it gears up for the 9th National Youth Games, with contingents now arriving. All is set for the multi-sport event. The local organizing committee has completed all final inspections, confirming that venues, including the Stephen Keshi Stadium, meet all requirements. With the zonal eliminations completed, athletes are undergoing final screening. Over 5,000 athletes and officials are expected to participate in the competition, which officially kicks off on Friday, with the games running through September 6th. Asaba says it is ready to welcome Nigeria's future stars.
I'm very prepared. I'm 100% prepared.
Preparing for it, and I believe by God, special grace of God, we're going to come out with good results.
We are fully prepared, waiting for that state that is coming. We are the host, and we believe we are the winner, and we continue winning.
And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Bade, and that's it on the Network News. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.